Will you die for me? Sunset sat up again. There was that damn dream. The one she had a lot recently. The one she sent a letter to Princess Luna about, and the night out court informed her it was a matter of jitters. Too many jitters, probably due to the impending adoption. The princess was also chewed out her niece for waiting so long between returns to Equestria. She should come see her mother soon. You're breaking your mother's heart by not seeing her again. The words from the letter, nearly a counterpart to Sunset's own statement from earlier in the day, had come back to haunt her. The princess, who am I kidding? She is my mother, the only mother I ever knew until I was taken in by Twilight's family. And I haven't really thought about what it is it's doing to her. Sunset eased herself out of bed and away from Pinky's grasp. That in itself was a whole different concern. Pinky was deeply in love with her, and didn't want to break the friend's heart, but at the same time, Sunset knew that Pinky needed someone worthy of her. This was all but confirmed when she heard Pinky mutter in her sleep, "Yes, Sonny, I would love to have your baby. I need to take a walk." Quietly, she threw on a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals, then wandered out of the room, then out of the bungalow. She walked down a perfectly tended brick walkway, past pristinely tended grass fields, making her way to the beach. A few couples were there from earlier, seated by the dying light of bonfires, and those she steered clear of both for their privacy and hers. She had a little more way down the beach, southbound, past the pier, and right to the point where the property line of the resort ended and where Harmony Headlands State Park began. It was here, down by the palm trees, where she saw with wonder. Seated on the beach all by herself was a girl, seemingly sit around Sunset's physical age, and with Asian features. She had mid-length chestnut brown hair with neon blue stripe, looked like sea green eyes, and her hand was a small glowing ball. She sang a song in the moonlight, a word Sunset wasn't familiar with. When Chetelokita, Adventure Silurata, Vendiana Lukuka, Si Kakura Nevo, Foriata Forchesti, Si Sienta. Sunset couldn't help herself. That is beautiful. The girl turned around in surprise, looking at her with grave concern. Hey, easy, not gonna hurt you. Just here for a walk, and overheard your singing. The girl immediately composed herself. Oh, well then, the girl said in an accent Sunset couldn't identify. Was right stuff there, love. Something if a girl's scared like that. Not bloody good for the heart at all, you know. Sorry, Sunset replied. Yeah, it's alright. Probably my fault. Getting tied up with memories the way I grew up. She laughed. The old gaffer dragged me into the States when I was 16, and he's surprised I never lost my accent. Which was... Well, and I usually get bothered with all sorts of questions because people figure that out. I'm originally from Cairns, Australia, and technically I'm originally from Despot, Indonesia, but Dad raised me in Australia before he wanted to move back to America. The girl shook her head. Well, I'm being a right bloody jerk not introducing myself. She offered her hand. Arika Pon. Sunset sat down next to her and shook. Sunset simmer. So what was that song you were singing? In the thing in your hand. Arika laughed. The song's from some old anime show, and the lyrics are just nonsense as far as I know. It just happens to be my favourite song. As for the glow, the girl reached her hand brought forth a palm-sized drone. She tapped it on the top of the chassis, and it began to glow a soft blue, hovering at the top of her palm. Does the microphone dart ask me to test him? Well, I'm on my sojourns. He's an inventor, the kind that's always walking about with one thing or another, and since I'm on the way to Japan next week, he asked me to take it to a manufacturer he knows. She grinned. There's all of these in their toys, you know. They'll buy them like they were going out of style. Sunset put it out of her mind. She originally thought it was magic, but now she saw it was a one-day reality to it. She gave it not much thought. Still, there was something unusual about the girl. Maybe she was a latent magic user and didn't know it. After all, Sunset knew 5 girls that she was around with every day that fit the criteria. So, you travel a lot, but you're still a kid? Kid? Still a girl, I suppose. You Americans are so in love with that term. I'm 25 and I've been out of school for years. Homeschooling. So I was at university by the time I was 10. I attended Royal Queensland University, graduated summa cum laude, right well ranked off every single person a decade older than me. Probably part of the reason why Dad moves us up to Seattle. She looked at Sunset. What about you? Oh, You're with friends. I'm just 17. Really? You look older than that. Nope, just 17, Sunset insisted. The father of one of my friends arranged it for us to take a summer vacation. You? Just wanted to get a small holiday between my studies. Was me with some business partners in Tulsa, and then on the way to Yokohama. As for me, well, given that Lord Garfa owns half of the resort, we have accommodations whenever we need. It's nice to get away from the problems. What problems? Sunset asked, figuring she could help. I reckon that again. I hardly think we know each other long enough to discuss personal issues. Besides, I'm not one of the problem. That is. She rolled her eyes and commented, Love the old man, but he's such a perv. Constantly dating younger women in. Well, you can imagine how it goes between an older chap and a younger lass. Anyway, the house currently dating someone around my age, and let's just say he got me right gobsmacked. He'll probably get over it and dump it for my sake, but, she shrugged, maybe I'm just being unfair to that girl. But someone's got to be pristine, even to look for him, as far as I'm concerned, you know. Maybe, Sunset said, remembering her own less than appropriate thoughts of meeting Trixie's father earlier in the year. Was it something she wanted to revisit? I've known some people in my school who have found their friends' parents to be attractive, she said diplomatically. So what's it to you? Me? Sunset asked, and Oroka nodded. Thought you didn't want to discuss personal issues. I guess I told you mine, being a jealous daddy's girl and all, she said slightly. Certainly yours can't be too hard. Boyfriend left you for another? Perhaps being too hard on you or something else. Oroka looked at the younger girl with a sincere face, one that was genuinely interested in helping. A bit more complex than that, Sensei explained. Oh, but I don't know that in my life, Oroka replied with a smile. Still, nothing so complex you can't express it in words. Sensei looked at the stranger, emphasis on stranger. It's not as though she feared for her life. If the girl tried anything, Sunset knew they were alone, and Sunset could easily protect herself magically. But emotionally, that was something else. The girl was asking her to reveal what had been gnawing her for the past few weeks. What have I got to lose? Sunset asked. It wasn't like she was ever going to see this girl again, she was sure. Sunset was silent for a few more seconds before speaking. In 2 weeks, I'm about to be adopted by a family. I love them, a mother and a father, 2 brothers and a sister who I love dearly. I've been pretty much an orphan for the past few years, so it means the world to me. Except, Oroka asked. Sunset sighed. My mother. Except my biological mother. I've met her in the past year, and she wants me back. And I still love her. I always have, even when I ran away. That's the truth. I'm not orphaned. I ran away. I ran away because I wanted what my mother had. Because I wanted her affection. Which I had, but I was too stupid to realize it. The sorrow and guilt came easily to Sunset. Recently, it was always under the surface. I was living here, and I loved my new family, but I don't know how they reacted when they found out that I'm not what I said I was. Thought you're really not an orphan, and that you came from a good home with a loving parent, and that you caused all this because you ran away, Oroka parroted. It's more complex than that, but yeah, that's the gist of it, Sunset sighed. Anything else? Yeah. Just found out that one of my best friends is in love with me, but I don't swing that way. Oh, man. Oroka grinned. Damn right you will. After all, you're here, are you not? You made it through a year of learning about yourself, moving in with a new group that loves you. You warned yourself right and good, did you not? But you still have the past to deal with. Good or bad, it's the past. It's a part of you. It's not going to let it go. No, you're right. It's not. Sunset pulled her knees to her chest in a scrunched up position. And I don't want to let it go. I love my mother. I love the mother who's going to adopt me now. And I honestly don't know what to do. I really don't. I'm here for good, and yet if I tell my new family the truth, they'll hate me. They'll hate me forever, and I don't want that. Perhaps you should tell them the truth, Oroka suggested. You see the situation, not saying anything has gotten you in. Reminds me of a time when I got something that the old Garfield didn't want me to. And ouch, I did hear from Dad. Let me tell you. But he was right. Hiding something isn't how it's meant to be. Sooner or later, things are going to the light. They will. And it's better than what they got here with their hearts than without, because otherwise it's a white mess. What if they spurned me? Remember the old saying, if you love something, set it free? If it doesn't come back, it was never yours to begin with. The other girl said, I, of course, like the joke person. If it doesn't come back, I'll do download extreme prejudice. She had a little chuckle. Then she stood up. Well, I'll be here for at least a week, so I hope to run into you again. You could tell me more about how it went. My family's not here. Well, not most of them. My sister is. Then you could tell me how it went so far, and I got some advice. Rebecca said, giving Sunset a smile. You see your own, Sunset. Sunset nodded as well. Same to you, actually. Sunset watched as the older girl walked away, and then at the moon again. This was the second time in a few hours she found herself in this situation. If she was the kind of person who believed in signs, it would have been a good one. And having grown up with her mother, the literal goddess, the ruler of a nation, and extensively trained in magical arts herself, she would have been insane not to see the signs. Believing them in, however, was a different matter. She got out the stand and walked back to the bungalow. Chances were, she just needed some sleep, and they could get back to fun and sun. She could mend ties with Twilight, and they could leave here as the sisters she were meant to be. Sunset used her keycard to open the door to the bungalow, and walked in yawning. The yawn ended a second later as she was hit hard across the face, and followed immediately by a punch. Her fist had swam. She was still sensitive towards head blows after what she had been through. She felt another hit across the face, and she lashed out with her own punch, drawing it out! Sunset immediately hit the lights, only to find, Twilight, what the fuck? Lying bitch! Twilight snarled. Hatred in her eyes were clear. You lying, swindly bitch! It was all an act, wasn't it? It was all just a fucking act! What are you talking about? The look in Twilight's eyes was one of pain and betrayal. And to think I was so stupid to trust you, and to think you were my sister. What's your plan? To steal Dad's emerald statue? Or to kidnap us? Twilight gasped. Or was it just to try to drive me mad? You... Sunset clamped her hands on Twilight's arms to prevent her from throwing more punches. What has gotten into you, sis? And why would I steal Dad's paperweight? Twilight shook Sunset off. I heard everything you told the other girl. About your real mother, and how she's still alive, and how you went to go see her. Sunset staggered as he'd been hit harder than before. She heard? What? I saw you take a walk outside. The tone of Twilight was broken. That cut deeper than any knife. I went because I wanted to make up with you. Because I thought we were sisters. Twilight hugged herself and looked at Sunset with a sad visage. Was any of it real? Was it just an act? Twilight, please listen to me. I can explain. Sunset cried. Doesn't hear her footsteps from the bedrooms upstairs. Great, just what I need. Why should I listen to you? For fuck's sake, you're an expert at manipulating people. My brother believed in you! Twilight screamed. I believed in you. Guess, what's going on? Rarity asked as she came downstairs. She wore an elegant sleep gown, and her eye mask was propped over her hair. Twilight didn't stop. Is that what you were afraid to share? That you've been a fucking liar to our faces this whole time? Answer me! The look on Sunset's face was one of heartbreak, and someone about to shatter. But also one that Twilight was right. We trusted you. We loved you, and all this time was nothing more than a sham? Twilight, please, let me explain. The look on Sunset's face was one of pleading, asking for mercy. Twilight met it with the hardest punch he ever thrown. And for a girl not inclined to violence or martial arts, it was painful indeed. Get the fuck out! I never want to see your face again, you lying bitch! Sunset took the blow right across the face without moving. But looking at the girl she called her sister, her eyes soaked from crying. Second care, she wildly ran, tears streaming down her face. Twilight was about to yell something else at the other girls, retreating from, when she felt herself rudely slammed against the wall. Do you know what you just did? Pinky roared at Twilight with the fury of the royal hair on her face. You bitch! Pinky cocked her fist back and swung, only to be caught, inches from Twilight's face, by Rainbow. Not now, Pinky! Rainbow said gently. Go after her. She needs you. Rainbow looked at Octavia. You too. She needs her family. Octavia and Pinky both looked at each other and raced out the door. Rainbow looked at Twilight. You okay? No, not really. I just found out my family's been housing and feeding a fraudulent... You call her that again, and I'll hit you, Twilight. Applejack said angrily. And I won't be nice as the girl that's in love with your sister. She's not my sister. And why... Twilight, shut up! Flashlight shouted at her. Did you ever think why we would put our necks on the line for the girl that tormented us for years? Do you? The chiffon-haired girl got right in the other girl's face.
I would trust Sunny with my life. I would put the goddamn gun in her hand, hold it in my hand, and tell her to pull the trigger. No, she wouldn't, because she means the world to me. To us.
Yeah, Sunny lied about some things, Elzak told her. But she never lied about how you're our family, and you just stared your own sister in the back.
But she said her mother is still alive, Twilight gasped. And she's seen her, and she still loves her. She's not an orphan.
No, you're right, Rainbow commented.
But you know what? It means she's a foundling, just as my sister was. And Rosa made a discourse that she still remembers the good times with her mother before everything went bad. It takes a lot to make someone hate their parents, you know.
Rainbow plopped down on a sofa and said,
but you know what? At the end of the day, Scoot's biological mom dumped her. And then her real parents came in. Sunny ran from her home life. So what does the hell say, egghead? Come on, you can put two together. Figure it out.
Twilight, Sunset loves you. She saved your life not because she had to, or even because it was the right thing to do. She did it because you are her sister. She risked herself more times than you know. Even when we told her it was a danger to her, she still went the extra mile. She'd do it again for any of us. Quite frankly, I'm tired of having to explain this. Rarity stood there, arms crossed, blue eyes radiating both disappointment and anger. And do you know who is out there solving your problem? Your cousin, the girl who so desperately wishes Sunset would pay attention to her, is more than just a friend. And you're here, lying in your own metaphorical pool of shit! Before Twilight could say anything, Pinkie frantically raced upstairs at a speed that Rainbow would find impressive. A second later, Octavia walked in, a heartbroken look on her face.
Pinkie?
She called out. Pinkie dived back downstairs, holding two familiar items in her hand. Sunset phone and purse.
She doesn't have either! Pinkie sobbed. She could be hurt or injured or...
She slipped down to the floor, ungracefully holding the objects close to her like precious tomes.
I'll carry the bed, Firefly told Rarity. She's not going to be good to anyone like this. Good thinking, darling,
Rarity replied.
Looking at the others, he said, I think we should get dressed. We need to get looking now.
Rarity looked at Twilight. Except for you.
I think you've done enough damage for today.
No, she hasn't, Octavia said, glaring at her cousin. But that's only because it's 4 in the morning. Now, if you excuse me, Rarity, I need to call my aunt and uncle. Someone needs to let them know their daughter is missing. So one of the other girls raced upstairs, leaving Fluttershy holding Pinkie, insisting everything would be all right. And Twilight, standing by the door, wondering if that was actually true. Divine Right, soon to be Emperor of all, sat up, his eyes wide. He briefly flickered with an intense light before referring to a golden color. Clarity washed over his fingers. It's time, he said to himself, before hopping out of bed, pausing only to say katana. It's time. The veil has lifted, and destiny calls herself to me, smiling and offering her bountiful wares.
Katana stretched and yawned. It's nearly 4 in the morning, Divine. I don't care who's offering you their bountiful wares. I'll kill them if they do. Now shut up and let's go back to sleep, okay?
No, he said giddily. We are the further success. The Fortuna's wheel spins in our favor. This is not the time to spend it shut-eyed and laid low.
What are you talking about?
The last 2 victims. I know who they are, he said. And, he said, plopping in the back of the bed next to her, one of them is a thorn in your side that you've been aching to get rid of. That caught her attention. Running her hands through her rain-colored hair, she gave him a smile and said, Tell me more. He grinned. You see, last night, as the fog lifted, I discovered who the hanging man is. At least the names on that list. While there are 3 names at the top of the list, given the urgency, I think you agreed with this settle for number 4. He moved over and whispered her name in her ear. She got down with malicious glee.
You wonder why I marry you. You gave me the nicest presents.
30 minutes later, the pair were downstairs in the intelligence facility. As the sirens in the room came to attention, Katana looked down and said, Okay, what's the status of Project Sigil? She looked at her room, and where's Lieutenant Storm? The chief fire officer in the room addressed Katana. It's Lieutenant's Liberty Day, ma'am. Did you need her immediately?
No. Well, I'll need to talk to her sometime today, Chief. Anyway,
what we got, Project Sigil? With all due respect, Captain, I'm at a loss for why we're doing this, the chief commented. Seems like a waste of personnel. I can explain, if you like, Defiant told her. Katana briefly looked down and nodded nearly impeccably. My cousin and her daughter are in town. I have reason to believe that CSIS may attempt something against her. So I asked Captain Blas if he would be willing to ensure the safety of two princesses. Seeing the look on the enlisted woman's face, he added, and this was well before we got involved, so it has nothing to do with that, I assure you. No skin back off my back, Your Highness, the chief replied. I just take orders around here, though I still like to think this is a waste of time, Captain. We have several people missing, and no thoughts being given to them. Plus, don't those princesses have their own set of guards? We have reason to believe that the assassins may be amongst them, Chief, Katana told her. This is why Prince Divine has asked us to watch over his family. The assassins might be good, but there's no one better than a siren. Wouldn't you agree? Certainly, ma'am, but we still run the risk of exposing our forces unnecessarily, and Sina's noticed that Katana was looking directly at her, examining her, eyes probing her like a scalpels over the sexton table. Is there something wrong, ma'am? A thoughtful look came over the face of the captain. Chief, have you taken your inoculations? The chief waved it off as Katana pulled a small, thin pipe from one of her pockets. Hey, save them for the junior woodchuck, Skipper. Us old shots like you I don't need that kind of crap, do we? Let's find out, Katana said, blowing on the boatswain's call. No sound uttered from the cockle whistle, but the rest of the girls in the room reacted as one, eerily returning to look at Katana with a blank look. All save for one, who looked at the other sirens in the room before turning to Katana with a look of confusion. Captain, what? The chief never finished her statement, as a bullet hole suddenly appeared in their head. She fell to the ground, dead. She looked at the two of them. Take the body to another room and dispose of it, cleanly, she ordered. The two immediately nodded before transforming to monstrous forms the serum had imbued them with. The rest of you, I want all the information you have on Project Sigil. Now, who's the ranking siren present? As if a switch was triggered, a dark-skinned woman with yellow saffron hair and green eyes, wearing the rank of Petty Officer First Class, looked at Katana. That would be me, Captain Petty Officer Trombone Statter, ma'am. Okay, I want all information available within the next 5 minutes. Every little piece of detail of who the princesses are seen with, places they've been, everything. If it sounds out of place, I want it. Are we clear, Chief Statter? The newly promoted chief got the message entirely. I can get you everything you need, Captain. Send it up to your office. Divine intervened. Please, send it down to Operations Office, Chief, he told her. We'll be there, taking care of some other business. Understood, sir, she told him before turning to the others. Okay, you heard him. Let's get a move on. Chop, chop, she shouted, clapping her hands loudly to get their attention. What was that all about? Katana barked out angry. What did I tell you about countermanding my orders? Relax, he assured her. We own the cups of victory, my dear, and I was hardly overriding your instructions, only making it easier. There's a petty officer in the operations office that I arranged to give a special audition. We need a voice capable of the range to sing the summoning song. And when I heard her speak the last time we were in there, I overheard her sing, thought you might be of use. That way we can make sure. You should have told me sooner, Katana argued. I could have checked this out. The military may be your forte, my dear, but not the magic, he reminded her. And even just now, it is cleared and has become so that I may see the horizons beyond. Within 48 hours, I want to take the world as its rightful rulers to begin, and there'll be nothing to stop us. He stopped in the middle of the hall, took her in his arms and kissed her. We'll be as gods, and 7 billion needs will bend to us. Let's lower that number when we get around to it, she told him, giving her lover a smile. Never did care for large crowds anyways. As they continued down the hall, they passed Cartaro, who looked as though she was about to murder someone. Instantly, her right hand looked bruised. However, she knew her place, stopped and saluted, wincing slightly as he did. Good morning, Captain, Your Highness, she said to both. You're out, Petty Officer Russ. Yeah, well, unfortunately, thanks to Med, we're going to be 2 sirens short, ma'am, Cartaro grimaced. She was bored, and you know how she gets when that happens. Fortunately, however, I wasn't expecting her to take 2 sirens without their consent. Who was it? Sub-Lieutenant Slam and Petty Officer Bleak from Team 5, the junior officer siren explained. Unfortunately, Med was a little too eager and practically snapped Lieutenant Slam in half during their fun. What was ever going on? It snapped Brake's mind as he went after Mad. Given that he's a huge steroid fucking bodybuilder, for a second I was worried that Mad wasn't going to make it, especially when I started getting choked by Blake.
In your hand?
Had to respond, ma'am. Sure, Mad's a self-centered idiotic whore, but she's my teammate, my subordinate, and part of the black team, so I punched Petty Officer Blake to stop her. The fine went over, and took up Charles' hand in his, and cast a healing spell. This is some severe damage, Petty Officer. Where did you hit her?
Let's just say, I never thought Bassoon Break had much of a head on her shoulders.
Katara replied, now I'm certain she doesn't.
Meanwhile, are you sure this is gonna work, May?
Sanaa asked as she sat down at the keyboard, her fingers dancing across the keys.
You're taking a huge risk.
No kidding. Magical Storm told her petite soeur.
If they find that microtransmitter, it's not going to be hard for them to trace it back to us,
she said aloud.
We'll be seeing drugs for sure. That's why we need this information,
Vesper reminded her. If we're going to stop Katana before she lets loose those monsters, then we gotta put them down, and soon.
Even if it means to die and get caught by the American authorities.
She groaned. As stupid as this sounds, the fate of the world may be at stake.
Sunnyside chuckled. I always wanted to be on a mission from God, eh, sis?
Evergreen laughed.
That's it. You must have memorized 79 for the Blues Brothers, didn't you?
Side tapped Fine's shoulder.
Classic movie, sis. You know that.
Look, that's all well and good, but we need to leave in a few minutes to arrange for the extra weapons we're going to need. Edemizo reminded them. You need to get back soon enough, Maddie, before Katana knows you're gone.
Told him I was taking a day off, Magic shrugged. And with all that's going on, and all the intelligence I've had to dig up, it'd only be natural. Trust me, there's no way I'm going to do anything that would jeopardize our situation here. Things are already tense with Katana and Kritar into believing that Pine and Sides are dead, and that the Triples are considered AWOL by this point. Don't want to even remotely think otherwise, else we're as good as dead.
Irie called out,
Personally, Maddie, I prefer to live.
At the moment, the middle triplet was at the table, restringing her bow. Several arrows on the table as well, in various states of disassembly.
Still using those, Ari? A sniper has many forms of performing her mission, Arya said with a smile. Sometimes it's good to have an appreciation for the classics. Yeah, well, we need to get going, Mesa replied. Sonny, you keep working on that intel angle. The rest of us need to head out. May, you gonna be okay? Yeah, this gotta go as well. Head back to the hotel room I rented in Bella Vista for some possible deniability, May admitted. Just because I think I'm in the clear doesn't mean I am. After all, if they send that assassin after you, I might have one as my trail as well. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in a few days.
So he went over and hugged Sanaa, did the rest before heading out.
That's our cue, Pine said. If we don't leave now, we're going to miss our shot. It's going to be as close as I have to hustle.
Mezzo grabbed the duffel bag.
Sounds like fun to me.
Vesper, Side, and Pine all grabbed their bags, quickly double-checked their gear, and headed out the door towards their mission, leaving the three junior-most personnel alone. A few minutes later, Adagio woke up, stretched, and got up.
How's my favorite sisters doing? She yawned.
Well, given that we're our only sisters, I say we're doing good, Arya said. Unless our parents sat out some other kids they abandoned.
Ari, that's not fair, Sanaa argued. We didn't know them. Hell, if I remember, they got buried as unknowns.
Personally, given that they were druggies, I'm glad we didn't get to know them, or else we might be hopped up on shit too. Dacia reminded her younger sister. You never saw Sunny complaining about the fact she was an orphan, did you? She looks like she's happy to be in the family she is, and I think we're happy in the family we have. She looked at the clock. Anyone want to tell me why we're up at 4 in the morning? Sanaa turned her attention back to the computer.
The transmitter widget that Maddie had installed is designed to signal us whenever significant data in the Intel office computers are being used. Right now, they're looking at something called Project Sigil.
Sigil? That sounds like some sort of nice Norse Viking crap, Arya muttered.
You're close. It's Old English. Basically, it's what the Saxons used to call the sun,
Sanaa said, still not taking her eyes off the screen.
I go good out of curiosity.
Project Sigil? Adagio asked, getting dressed. First Project Antimusa, and now Project Sigil? Is something we should worry about?
We found out that Captain authorized the serial killings that our friends have been worrying about. And then she and the prince turned the Sisterhood into a collection of monsters, and now they want to take over the world. Arya replied, what makes you think we shouldn't be concerned?
Well, I'm a fan of cheese being the solution, Sanaa replied. But I suspect you wouldn't get that joke.
Is this another one of those inside jokes you made with Pinky?
Hell yes,
Sanaa says. The plastic file briefly goes to her face before she went back to concentrating on work again.
Okay, copying over the documentation we have for Project Sizzle. They were stupid and didn't encrypt it, so we should be able to read the documents the moment we finish the download.
Any chance of them catching us? Adagio asked.
Only if we're not careful, Sanaa said. The girls in Intel might be damn good at gathering analysis, but they don't know a damn thing about InfoSec. Trust me, I could break into their systems with a Nintendo and 2 floppy disks.
Cocky bitch, Mud Sunny.
I'm your baby sister. I had to do something to make up for my crippling self-doubt by constantly being outclassed by my 2 superior older sisters,
Sanaa said gimply. Brava, that almost sounded sincere. A few minutes later, Sanaa sat back in her chair and relaxed.
Okay, we got what we needed, she announced. Give me a few seconds to print out the executive summary and we should be fine.
No, put it on the big screen, Adagio insisted. We could read from a PDF, and if it's something serious, we don't need to waste precious seconds for the printer to pitch that's out paper again.
Point,
she said, reaching out for the remote and turning on the TV that served as a monitor.
Okay, it's up.
The trio read the executive summary on the screen, and made their skin crawl to see the level of information that was being presented to Katana Blast. The Sisterhood had been compromised for far longer than anyone had suspected. A look of horror came over Adagio's face as he realized that the Canadian government and former masters had many not been the one to assassinate Admiral Poutine, the Sire's beloved commander and firefighter.
What the hell's this?
Arya gasped.
Girls, you better shut up and read page 7.
Sanaa, who was reading at her own screen, tended to be a speedy reader of the trio, looked at her sisters with horror.
Fuck all, it goes to page 7.
Adagio picked up the 3D mouse and maneuvered the document to page 7, reading the first few lines of the document. The lines expanded to the first 2 paragraphs. By the time she got to the third, she dropped the mouse in a panic.
Is this real?
Adagio yelled at Sanaa.
I don't know, but we're going to do something about it. We don't have time. They left from Modesto yesterday, and we need to get down there double time.
Okay. Commit and decision. Get your gear ready. This is correct. We need to get down there and end this before it's too late. I want us out of the door in 5. Move, ladies, move! Adagio barked, then tore off her civvies in favor of grabbing her cap tats. Time was no longer a luxury to get afford, not in the least. Not when the document said that the last girl that would be killed would be Sunset.